And let's go. Whew. We are doing 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching, and I just realized I don't have a microphone for... Nope, not this here, but I don't have a microphone for TikTok yet. There we go. Boom. Okay. We are doing 45 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every day at 9 p.m. to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully we make the suffering parts of stretching every single day a little bit more bearable and a little bit more fun so we can make a whole bunch of progress together. Somebody in here is loving it. Raina says happy Sunday and is loving the life. Thank you. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Okay, let's get started. First thing that we're going to do is warm up. So if you haven't already, start just wiggling around, doing some stuff. Oh man, my back just cracked in like 12 places. That was crazy. I felt it since before, but apparently just doing a little rotation helps a lot. Okay, hip cars, let's go. High knee. Open up that hip directly to the side. Keep the knees high. Rotate the leg so that the ankle is as high as possible. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. Feel this muscle in the front of your leg get pulled tight when you bring this leg back. And that is one rep. But we're not going to count it. We're going to do 10 more of those. All right, let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 4. 5. 6. 7. High knee. Ankle up. Down and back. 8. 9. Last one on this side. 10. Hip cars. Done. One side. Let's keep going. Next leg. Grab onto something for balance if you need it. It helps you focus on really getting to the end range of motion in the hip. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Leg down and back. High knee. Ooh, I forgot the flow. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. I think that's 5 or 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Whew. That is hip cars going forward. Now we're going to do them in reverse. Take a second, check your legs out, give yourself a little bit of a hip massage, and we will continue. All right, now we're going reverse. Same movement, just your brain has to adjust a little bit. Let's go. Bring the legs down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull that knee behind you. Try to keep this upper body straight. Lift directly to the side. Try to bring that ankle up higher than the knee. Bring the ankle all the way down. Lift that knee high. Then finish by bringing the knee up in front of you. Whew. All right. Let's do 10 more of these. Let's go. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Let's keep going. We're halfway there. 5. Back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I'm pretty sure this is 8 or 9. But I was really thinking about the ankle up, ankle down, and now I have completely lost track. So this would be the last one, number 10. Oh, I would like it to be number 10 because my hips are tired. All right, give your hip one more little massage. If you're just joining and you have no idea what we're doing with our legs, we do a live 45 minutes of side split stretching, and we do this every single day. Right now, we are in the warm-up area, in the hips loosened up. We're doing a little bit of strength work to get our hips feeling strong, but mostly tired. And whew, we got one last leg. We're going backwards hip cars, and it looks like this. We're bringing the leg back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, pulling it behind this standing knee. Try to keep the upper body straight, lift directly to the side, then rotate the ankle up high. Try to keep the knee high as well, then bring the ankle all the way back down. Lift that knee as high as you can, and bring that knee to the front to close. That is how you do it. We're not going to count that rep. We got 10 more to go. Let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 7, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 8, 9, last one, I think, maybe, possibly. I feel like I've miscounted somewhere. It feels a little too fast. We're gonna do one more. Now we're done. Okay, take a quick break. Shake out your legs, catch your breath. You're probably not out of breath, it's just me because I talk so much and don't breathe. Whew. But I'm gonna take a sip of water and I'm gonna check the chat. Oh man. Travel with Roxy says, hi everyone. And Raina says, I appreciate your time. Oh, thank you so much, Raina. I appreciate that you took the time to write. Gayeta, welcome back. It's good to see you. And, oh man. I'm super out of breath today. I don't know what's going on. We got a whole bunch of people following live. Awesome, awesome. I presume that you heard me say we're doing 45 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little community, make suffering a little bit more bearable and fun so that we can make progress in our side splits. If that sounds cool to you, follow, subscribe, get notified, do all those cool things. Cool. We just did the first warm-up exercise, and that was hip cars. The second one that we're going to do is called the elephant walk. And it looks a little bit like this. We're going to fold at the hips, bring our belly buttons, this thing, down as low as you can. If your knees are already hurting and sensitive, you can give it a slight bend to take some pressure off the knees. And that's it. We're just going to chill here for a couple of seconds. Try your best to bring your belly button down as low as you can. And breathe. Remember, this is the warm-up. We're coming in cold. It's winter for most of the audience in the US, so take your time to warm up slowly. Alright, now that we've hung out here for a little bit, I want you to start bending your knee, straighten the other leg, bend one knee, straighten the other leg, bend one knee, straighten the other leg. I want you to really feel all the stuff going on in your hamstrings and all the stuff that feels like maybe it's shifting in your leg, stuff sliding around. There are 3 big muscles that make up the hamstrings. So if you've never heard this before, your hamstring is not just one muscle. It's 3 different ropes connecting into the leg from basically the hips into the knee. And so they're really long muscles as well. And don't worry, we're still shifting from side to side while I tell this story. Keep on shifting. Keep on bringing the belly button lower as you get more comfortable. If your calves are starting to tingle a little, if your toes are starting to tingle a little, that means we're doing the right thing. So don't worry about that either. Okay, so the hamstrings are made up of 3 main muscles, but one of them is a bicep. A bicep just means there's 2 heads. There's like 2 attachment points on one end and 1 attachment point on the other end. And so while there's 3 muscles, one of them feels like it's basically 4. And why am I telling you all this? All those muscles are attached at slightly different points above your knee and in your hip. That means when you're moving around, sometimes they kind of like, just rub against each other because they're moving at slightly different angles. And we want you to know that. Do I have a really good reason for wanting you to know that? No, not really. I just wanted you to be distracted while you did this kind of weird feeling uncomfortable thing and give you a reason why I might feel uncomfortable. Okay, cool. Whew, elephant walk. Done. Shake it out. Especially if your toes felt a little bit tingly at the end. A lot of people call that specifically nerve flossing or nerve stretching. And yeah, that's what they call it. So we can move on. All right, get back into basically the same position. And we're going to do some thoracic rotation. We're going to get back into this folded position where the belly button is coming down. We're going to bend one knee. Right now my left knee is bent. My right leg is straight. I'm going to take my left hand, bring it across my body to help rotate my chest. So this hand is pushing against the leg. Extend the right hand up into the sky. Look at it with my eyeballs. And come on back down. Take a look at how far back you can reach. And every time we do this, try to reach a little bit further if you can. We're going to just do 5 of these. I can count that as number 1. I can be generous. Let's go. Number 2. Try your best to take a second to bring that belly button down. On the next one, here is 3. 2 more. 4. Last one. And 5. Whew. Okay, thoracic rotation is all about getting the back to do a little bit of rotating, a little bit of twisting, and your back is designed to do that. We don't do very much of it in daily life, I think. So hopefully we added a tiny bit in. You felt a little bit better, and maybe that's your inspiration to do a little bit more if that's what you need. All right, that is elephant walk and thoracic rotation. We just finished warm-up number 2. It's time to get into warm-up number 3. This is actually the hardest part of the whole entire thing. It is the Cossack switch. It is hard because even though we call it a warm-up and it is helping to warm up our bodies and prepare our bodies, there's a lot of muscle building going on here. Open up your legs, point your knees out to either side, point your toes out to either side, and try your best to drop down. Ooh, ankle just cracked. What we want is for you to feel this Achilles tendon tightening up down here. I want you to feel the calf stretch. I want you to feel pressure building in the front of your ankle, pressure building in the hip. I want you to try your best to squish down into this position. Keep in mind, I want your knees to travel in the same direction as your toes. So if I were open like this, my feet were pointing to you, my toes are pointing right in your face, and my knee is going right in your face. Wow, that sounds really aggressive. I don't want your knee to buckle in this way. I want your knee to go out like that, traveling in the same line that your toes are pointing. Cool? From here, as you hang out, you can experiment and figure out which positions are a little bit more comfortable for your ankles, for your hips. And I want you to just sit in it and rest in it for a little bit. Because if you were to hold this the whole time, your quads are going to start firing. They're going to be really unhappy, going to be so tired, you're not going to be able to do the rest of the exercise. So try your best to let your hamstrings rest on top of your calves. It might mean that your heels will come up on this side to help you bring your knees forward. All right? Whew. While we hang out in this position, I want you to try to sit back. Try to squish your heel down. But if it comes up, it's totally okay. On this side, right here, your heel is down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. This is called external leg rotation. We need this for the side splits. In fact, right now, this from the middle of me over, this is basically a side split, right? We need to do this in order to get our thigh bones from smashing into our hip bones and making it really unfun and really painful. So, pointing it out now, and we've hung out on this side for long enough. Let's scoot our butts over to the other side and give that side a little bit of rest as well. If your leg's already out extended, you can put your hands down. Slowly help your other side raise up. Bring it over and do the same thing on this side. Knees going forward, feeling the Achilles tendon stretch, feeling that calf stretch, feeling pressure in the front of the ankle, feeling pressure in the hip, and come on down. Rotate your hips. change your leg angles to figure out what position is comfortable for you. And we're going to try and keep that heel low to the ground if you can. And if you can't, that's okay. We're just trying to squish down and help you relax a little bit while you're here. Whew, I have talked so much. Luckily, we get to chill for a second. On this side, toes up, knees up, heels down. Cool? All right. So this is called the Cossack switch. And the reason for that is because we're going to be switching from side to side. And it's going to look a little bit like this. You can start at any time, but you don't have to start until you figured out what you're going to do. That was one Cossack switch. We put our hands down to give ourselves a little bit of support. We use a little less strength, use a little less balancing work, and we can go from side to side. When you start working on this variation, I want you to try your best to keep your heels down on the ground, because you're going to lean a little bit forward. You're going to have your hands on the ground to support you. You don't need to have your heels up. So try to get your heels down on both legs, and you can use your hands for support. Okay? Now, we're going to just do that for about 10 reps. If you are feeling really confident in this position, your heels are staying down the whole time, you've unlocked some really solid mobility, you can start removing your hands. You can keep that angle leaning forward, because that will help your ankles not have to work so hard. But if you're feeling really confident, this is way too easy for you. You can stick your arms out. You can try to stand up a little straighter and keep on going. I think I said we're going to do 10 of these. I have absolutely no idea how many of these I've done, but I'm going to pretend this is number 5. Let's go. 5 more. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Ooh, take a couple seconds here. And a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a lean, and 10. Whew. Man, my hips are tired. I warned you from previous rounds of our warm-up. People have said, this is the warm-up? What? And it is the warm-up. And it's the hardest part of the whole entire workout, I'm pretty sure. So, it only gets better from here. Ooh, Uppity Panda says, my knees. If you are struggling a little bit with knees in that Cossack switch, you can focus on just the important parts, which is hanging out deep and working on that side splitty position on this side and compressing on this side. So how do you get from side to side? You can use mostly power and just do a squat out of that position and then come back down into a squat on this side. So instead of having your knees shift from side to side down here, putting a lot of pressure on your knees, you can go power through and then slowly come on down. I forgot to mention that. My bad. Okay. Saw another big comment come in. Kristalla says, that's awesome. Haven't seen a workout like this since I moved away from my sensei. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've got some unique qualities. I like this. Okay. All right. Gayata is doing good. Uppity Panda, I've addressed. Chess says, I almost missed the class. Oh, okay. I almost missed the class. Great. I'm glad you're here. We only just finished the warm-up, so you're not late at all. Maybe just a little cold. Reed and Hero says, let's go, y'all. Ooh. Good energy. Okay. Gayata says, hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a good start to the week. Lovely. Thank you for sending good vibes, Gayata. Okay. That was our warm-up. It's time to get into our stretches. We are going to start with the hamstring stretch. The way I'd like to do the hamstring stretch, and realistically you can do this any way you want, but the way I like to do it is to have a little bit of padding under one knee. So if you have not yet grabbed something, you can grab a pair of shoes you don't care about. Just smash your knee into those. I do care about those, so I'm not going to do that. A cushion, a couch cushion, a pillow, anything with a little bit of padding, some flip-flops, a chancla. Whoosh, throw it under your knee. Okay, from here, we're pointing our hips directly forward, our chest directly forward, our head, I guess, directly forward. And we're sticking this leg directly forward. We're going to bring our belly buttons, this thing right here, down towards the ground. Feel the hamstrings tighten up real deep, and we are in the hamstring stretch that we're gonna do. This version of the hamstring stretch is really good because you have a lot of stability. And if you're ever feeling unsafe, unsure, you can always put your hands down to reduce some of that pressure. Cool? All right, let's talk about some details. I want you to pull your leg into the hip socket and then fold down. I don't want you to be trying to do a front split with this leg all the way back here, this leg all the way in front there. We're working on just the hamstring stretch, all right? So pull that leg into the hip socket, fold down, bring the belly button down to touch the thigh. Whew. Okay, your hamstrings are gonna feel super tight. Maybe you're feeling it in your calves and your toes again as well. Take a nice big deep breath in, inhale. We're gonna slowly exhale and then try to continue to bring our belly button down to the ground. Cool? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. I apologize for that nasty, snotty inhale. I don't know where it's coming from because it is hot outside. I have not caught a cold. Okay, once you're here, your hamstrings are probably struggling even more than before. Take a couple of normal breaths, and we're going to do one more. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Once you are feeling like this is it for you, we're not doing any more depth. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on out of that hamstring stretch. Whew. Wow, I'm off balance. Take a second, breathe, relax. And come on over, switch to the other side. Yes. I somehow, as soon as I put the block down, I was like, which leg am I stretching? Which leg is coming down? Okay. Hope you've had a second to breathe. We're going to start the other side. Let's go. Leg out, pull it into the hip socket, fold, bring the belly button down. Your hamstrings are going to tighten up. That's okay. We're going to hang out here for just a couple seconds longer while we get used to it, and then we're going to do the inhale, exhale. All right? Inhale. Exhale. Fold deeper into the stretch. It's going to be uncomfortable, and that is okay. Okay. You can maybe touch your hamstrings. You can feel the different muscles pulling super tight right through your leg. Okay, let's do one more inhale, exhale. Exhale. If your knees are starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, you can give them a slight bend. And then focus on bringing your belly button and your chest down to that leg first, and then extending and straightening out the leg afterwards. Cool? All right, once you're here, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Remember to breathe. I know your leg is super tense right now, but the goal is to have them relax as much as possible. So if you're not breathing, it's going to be really hard to relax. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Remember, the goal is to bring the belly button down, not your head, not your chest, your belly button. So everything else that you're doing is just for show. It's all about the belly button. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh. Okay, that's the hamstring stretch. Take a quick breath. relax. Grab whatever you had patting your knee, throw it off to the side. You don't need it anymore. Wipe off any extra sweat, take a sip of water, and I'm gonna come back to the chat real quick. Oh no, Chess phone will die soon. We'll see you next time. See you tomorrow. Cristala says, very much so. Instant follow. Oh, Katarina says, thank you for sharing your time. This is so lovely. Thank you, everybody. All right, Lulu. Whoa, welcome back, Lulu. Yabracadabra. It is a good stretch. What herbs am I drinking? This is actually just black coffee. There's nothing fancy in here, but I guess technically coffee beans are the seeds of the coffee fruit, and they are seeds. Cool, okay. On YouTube, the Zizus6975 says, do a flip. This room is way too small, and my skills are way too bad to be doing flips in here. Exuberant Phoenix. Oh, hey, welcome back. Will this help before glute workouts? It's been helping my stress at least. Ooh. Will this help before a glute workout? We don't do that much contraction of the glutes in here, but the side glute right here in the hip gets a little bit of a stretch in the pigeon. And there is some science that says if you stretch, I think after you do an intense workout and you bring your muscles to the maximum range of motion, or sorry, maximum like length after workouts, it helps promote growth. I don't know exactly how it applies into what we're doing because we're not necessarily doing the same application of those principles. But if you want to take some of the things that we do and incorporate it into your workout, then if we were doing a pigeon and you wanted to get fully stretched out and then you wanted to do something that felt more like an exercise and you lifted your chest up afterwards, that will help stretch out your glutes a little bit, and I think that might help a little bit with glute growth if that is your goal. Okay, where are we? I don't know where we're at. We're going to the second stretch, and the second stretch that we're going to do is called the butterfly. I recommend you do this against a wall because the wall will help keep you stable and help you focus on the things that you need to focus on, which is this right here. Pull your feet in together. The butterfly is all about this area right here, the groin stretch. And when you have your hips, your shoulders, your head against the wall, having that nice straight posture, the wall is going to keep you from moving around and like trying to adjust so that you can focus on just stretching the groin. I want you to try to use your outer thigh muscles, your glutes. Oh, glutes. We're flexing them and we're trying to contract to bring the knees down into the ground. All right. Oh, man. So it looks a little bit like this. If we didn't have the wall, there would be no way I'd be able to bring my knees down this far. I'd be stuck over there trying to stay balanced because I would fall backwards long before I could get my knees open like this. Now that we have used our outer thigh muscles and our glutes to pull the knees down to get as deep as we can with just our muscle power, it's time to apply some external pressure, aka we're going to use some hands. Go ahead and push your knees down with your hands. If you are against the wall, the back of your shoulders, the back of your head are suddenly going to feel pressure as you push into the wall, and the wall pushes you right back so that your hands can apply pressure into your legs. All right, flex those muscles, push down. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Remember, don't hold your breath. Keep on breathing. We got to relax those muscles, and if you're holding your breath, you're not relaxing. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. If at some point you forgot we were flexing our muscles, that's totally okay. Let them relax for a second, and then flex them some more. Open up those hips. We only got a couple seconds left. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Relax. Let your hands go. And then help your legs move a little bit. If you were flexing your glutes, your side, outer thigh muscles, they'll have forgotten how to work as regular legs for a second there. So if you give them a little bit of a flap, those butterfly wings, they'll start moving a little bit better. All right, come on up out of that. We're gonna get into stretch number 3, the standing pancake. I don't know why I keep on playing with the yoga blocks. They're like always kind of in the way because I never get rid of them far enough. Standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We're gonna open up our legs. Doesn't have to be crazy wide. We're not trying to get into a side split just yet. The goal of the standing pancake is to fold at the hips and bring the belly button down towards the ground. And the starting position looks basically like this. From the side, we're just folding forward, trying to touch our toes, except our legs are a little bit wider. Cool? We like this position because gravity is doing a whole bunch to help pull us down. All right, at the lever, this is the fulcrum, our hips, where we want to fold. And everything out here, the longer you are, the more pressure you're going to feel at the hip. Cool? So, that's the physics. If you want, you can stick your butt a little bit back to help counterbalance all the weight out here in front of you. And I want you to, again, focus on bringing the belly button down to the ground. The chest and the head are not so important. They can go all sorts of places before your hips do anything. So just focus on the hips or the belly button. Cool? Let's go. Stick your arms out. You can pull them in anytime. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30. 29. 28. 27. 26. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, remember to breathe, don't hold your breath, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Oh, come on out of that stretch. Whew. That was a lot. That was intense. That is a standing pancake. So if you ever feel like, oh, standing pancake is a beginner variation, and I want to move on to the more advanced variations of whatever exercise, because standing generally has, gravity working overtime for you and helping you pull you down. As you progress, most people start sitting on the floor or doing it a little bit differently. You can take the standing pancake really, 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 really far. And I like the standing pancake because it does something a little counterintuitive. The standing pancake forces your muscles to contract to keep you balanced, right? A lot of stretching that you will see, especially when you're seated on the ground, is about relaxing the muscles as much as possible. And I talk about relaxing a lot, so this is going to be really confusing. Hear me out for a second. But just like how we were doing the butterfly, and we were like, oh, contract the outer thighs, contract the glutes. We want to strengthen our muscles as we go. So in the standing pancake, when we are out in these positions and we're like trying to figure out how to balance, inevitably there'll be some muscles contracting to help keep you stable, right? And we want that because we want to strengthen those muscles as well. If you were totally seated and just casually relaxed and waiting to fold forward, it'd be less useful for us because as beginners, one of the two things that we want to do is learn to relax and also get really strong so that our muscles, when they're relaxed, your brain's going, oh, this is chill, we got this. I hope that explanation more or less covered it because it's time to move on. We got enough rest in between the standing pancake. It's time for some figure 4 or pigeon. If you know exactly what you want to do because you've been here before, go ahead and start. But I believe we explained figure 4 yesterday, so we're going to talk pigeon today. And pigeon basically looks like this. And the overall goal of this next workout, this next exercise, is to bring the ankle up to the opposite side of the body and to bring your belly button down so that you feel the stretch out here in the side of your hip on the side of that glute. All right? It's going to look a little bit like this, except we're going to do it on the ground. The pigeon looks a lot like this. We're going to cross this leg across our body. I'm going to do this at an angle so you can see a little bit better. And We're trying to bring sort of the midpoint of our chest, the middle of our chest, down to the middle of the leg between the knee and the ankle. We're going to try to keep the hips low to the ground so that this is folding forward, not, bowing forward and getting your hips all high up like this. And the final detail is this back leg. It is not super important what this leg is doing for us because we are focused on the opposite hip. But if your leg is fully extended behind you, you can get some bonus stretching going on. If you cannot get your leg fully back, there's two things we can do. One, we can just bend the leg and move on and proceed. If you really want to work on getting that leg back behind you and straighten, because you want to practice some yoga and you don't want to look like you can't stick your leg back behind you or something, I understand. The trick to getting more comfortable in this position is to elevate the front leg. All right, so front leg. I'm doing this with yoga blocks. I do not recommend you do this with yoga blocks. Get something a little bit more stable. I just happen to have very convenient lightweight yoga blocks right next to me. So bring that leg up across the body. I'm going to get into the pigeon position, and then as you can see, there's way more room down here so that my leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight back. I have a lot more wiggle room to send that leg back. So you can do this or a variation of it on a chair. You can do it on a stool. As long as it's stable, as long as you're not going to bust your butt, go ahead and give that a try. All right, that's enough instruction. Let's get into the pigeon. Once again, we're taking that leg, bringing it straight across our bodies. We're bringing our chest down towards the middle of that leg. We are trying our best to stick this leg out behind us. And finally, we want to keep our hips low first and then fold forward so the hips stay low. We're feeling the stretch out here in the side glute, in the outer butt. And take a deep breath because we're starting. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. If suddenly you feel like the stretch is getting super easy, check where your ankle is. Push that ankle away from your groin, and it will suddenly get way harder. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Roll over, lay down, relax for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to switch over to the other side. Okay. Pigeon on the other side. Same thing. Knee to ankle. Find that midpoint. Oh. Get your middle of the chest towards that midpoint in your leg. Come on down. Keep the hips low. Stick that leg out behind you or bent. And you might notice that one side is a little bit tighter than the other. You can't get quite as deep. For me, it is this right side. I am a little bit higher for sure. Breathe, relax, and 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Use a pillow. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on up out of that stretched position. Oh, come into standing, squat, some sort of restful position. Give yourself a moment to breathe. We are done with everything else. If you are just coming in, you have no idea what we're doing, and we're just taking part in some stretching, then I want you to know that we do 45 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a bit of community, and hopefully keep us from suffering too miserably by ourselves, because we're suffering together, and it's a little bit more fun when you do it that way. If that sounds cool, if that sounds fun, hit follow, subscribe, do all those things. Keep coming back, because we practice every single day. Okay, I forgot to say that the goal is to work on side splits, but I think you figured that out. Cool. All right, come on up, shake out your legs, shake out your arms, relax for a second. I'm gonna finish off this last sip of coffee. Come check the chat, and then we will get into some side splits. Scrolling. Trying to get back to the last message that I saw earlier. Exuberant Phoenix says thank you. Okay, lovely. Scrolling. Cristalla says, is there a variation for the butterfly? Do super flexible people who don't feel this one anymore? Oh, incredible. Okay, so you're super flexible. Actually, let's talk about that at the end. Yes. Thank you, Travel with Roxy. That is a great suggestion. You can actually elevate your butt by sitting on something and then going even further with your legs. I don't think you need to. If you don't have a reason that you're training for that much mobility, then you can probably just do something else if you're that flexible. All right, I'm gonna look one more time over here on YouTube. One time I did splits by doing yoga in a day. Lady treated me like a ballet trainer. I'm gonna do the same again. You're correct. Let's go. I do pigeon a lot of times. I feel it in the middle of the glutes as a sharp pain. Ooh, okay, let's see. When you do the pigeon, you feel it in the middle of the glutes as a sharp pain. That is interesting. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of a really reasonable reason why you would feel a sharp pain in the middle of your glutes. I mean, technically, there are muscles kind of tied in there, but since I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, I'm going to take my time and see if we're going to address it towards the end. Let's get into some side splits. We're going to talk about safety real quick. This wall right here is going to help keep you safe. That is because when you're in a deep side split position, if you fall forward, it's easy enough to catch yourself with your hands. But if you start falling backwards and it gets really scary, the wall will be here to catch you. Just make sure you don't have a big metal pointy doorknob to smash into your shoulder, and you should be good. I recommend you stand 8 to 12 inches away from the wall, so you're just far enough to do whatever you need to do. But if you start falling backwards, if you stick your butt behind you, if you stick your shoulder into the wall, it'll be able to catch you and help keep you safe. Cool? All right, let's get into the side splits. Open up those legs, nice and wide. When you are feeling pain and discomfort in the hips, fold forward, because you don't want pain, you don't want discomfort. In fact, you don't want to be in that position to begin with. But if you are getting there, fold forward, put your hands down, and that should relieve some of that discomfort. From here, I want you to almost pretend that you're doing a couple of push-ups so that we put some body weight into our arms and we get it out of the legs. Once it's out of the legs, I want you to externally rotate them. What that means is your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up on both sides. Heels up, heels down, toes up, knees up. This rotates your leg bone out of the way of your thigh bone so that you can get deeper into this stretch. It is also the same reason why we fold forward and there's less discomfort. Whew. All right, walk your hands back towards your hips and try to sink deep into this stretch. Woo. Finally, do a little wiggle from side to side, just a little bit. This is just the first one. And use that to break the friction holding your feet back from getting to a deeper side split. Once you are as deep as you can get for now, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward, pull your legs in behind you, and come into a kneeling position. When we're doing the side split, when we're hanging out with our legs, doing crazy things back there, I want to remind you that we want to try our best to keep the legs straight. I don't want you to be bending your knees or doing anything wild, because that puts a lot of pressure on your knees, and that is not so good for your knees. So keep those legs straight. All right, come up into standing. We're going to shake it out. What we just did was put a whole bunch of pressure into our legs. All the muscles were contracting, trying to keep us from getting into a deeper stretch. So now we want to relax. And I recommend you relax by doing this. Just flick your hands, flick your legs. Imagine you're trying to get some water off of your body. You're just going, flick, 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 flick. As you get a little bit more comfortable, as you get a little bit looser, you can pick up the intensity of this flicking, shaking motion. And this is proof that your muscles are relaxing. If your muscles are really tense, you'd be a little bit more robotic. And what we're doing is trying to be jello, trying to be ramen, trying to be noodles, trying to be overcooked pasta. Whew. So, once you've done a couple of seconds of this, 5 to 10 seconds on each leg is more than enough. We are ready to move on to do some joint checks. In the joint checks, we're just doing 2 seconds of a movement to make sure nothing feels weird after we've done that stretch and put that much strain on our body. So the hip circles is what we started with. High knees is what we're continuing with. Then we're going to pop into one sort of a half squat, mini squat. Put some pressure on the knees, put some pressure on the ankles, put some pressure into your feet, and come up into a calf raise. If you have done all those things, everything feels more or less normal, then for the most part, your joints are probably working just fine. So we can continue into side split number 2. Whew. That was a big, long sentence. I didn't breathe at all during the whole sentence. Let's get to that wall. Take one step in front of it. Again, for safety, for our new best friend, to keep us safe. Open up those legs. Fold forward. Put your hands down. Breathe. Walk your hands, or externally rotate the legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Walk your hands back towards your hips to put the weight that we moved over there back into our legs. Wiggle from side to side to put a little bit more power into the legs. Break that friction holding your back. And once you are here, I hope you've noticed you're a little bit deeper than last time. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If you feel like you can get deeper, you can always do a wiggle again at any time to eke out a couple more inches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk those hands forward. Bring the knees in. Breathe. Relax. That was our second split. If you are just joining in and you thought that there was a 30 seconds per stretch pattern and all of a sudden you're a little confused, we're doing 2 of these, what the heck? We do 3 rounds of 30 seconds of the side split, and everything that we do prior to this is just pre-stretching, pre-warming up for the side splits. Every muscle that is involved in the side splits we have worked on in advance to various degrees. If you thought we did a lot of hamstring stuff, that is because we did a lot of hamstring stuff. Okay. Shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Relax those muscles. Flop, wiggle. And move to the other side. Flop, wiggle. If you've done a couple of these in the past, try and pick up the intensity, see what happens. Whew. And with that, our flopping, our wiggling is done. I recommend you do a couple of seconds of something for that hip because your leg is opening out so wide. So just get a little bit of gentle, light movement. I like to keep my hips in the same place, then point my knees either out or in, using the toes to pivot. And you don't have to do a crazy amount of these. Just get a little bit of movement. Just soften up these muscles in addition to the flicking that we were just doing. And with that, it's time to do some hip checks. Let's go. Hip circles. High knees. You don't have to do very many of these. We're just making sure nothing feels weird or uncomfortable. Pressure in the knees, pressure in the ankles, pressure in the feet. Do a calf raise. And let's go. It's time for side split number 3. Whew. Once again, let's get in front of that wall. Take one step in front so that if we fall backwards, our butts, our shoulders will protect us and we don't fall all the way down onto the ground and bust our butts. Open up those legs, fold forward, put your hands down, externally rotate your feet so that your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are up. Breathe. You might feel like you can just slide deeper into the stretch now after the first 2. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Put that pressure right back in. Make gravity work in your favor. And let's do a little wiggle from side to side. See if we can get a little bit deeper. This is the last one. Make it count. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30. 29. 28. 27. 26. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, we're almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, crawl your hands forward. Pull your legs in slowly. Relax. Kneel there. Sit. Chill. It's probably the case that it was really difficult to pull your legs in after those 3 rounds of side splits. So, give your chance. Give your legs a chance to relax. And regain some function before we start shaking it out. All right, let's go. Shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Shake out your hands as well. We're talking about flicking, and that's a good place to start. But you can pick up the intensity, really get your elbows involved, your shoulders involved. Your biceps will be getting loose too. Shake, 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 shake. Other side. Shake, 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 flick, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. Whew. Oh, if you think this looks a little funny, it does. I'm not gonna lie. But relaxation is super helpful in pretty much anything you want to use your muscles for. If you are training, it could be calisthenics, it could be with weights, it could be with kettlebells. You want to relax in between your sets so that you are as fresh as possible before you do your next set so that you can get the most out of your workout. And this is one of those ways to relax the muscles as much as you can in between each of your sets so that you can work a little harder. Whew, okay, we've shaken out the legs. Now I really want you to emphasize the external and internal rotation of the hip here. So let's do 5 on each side. Try to keep your hips in basically the same spot and get all of the motion to come from that leg turning in the hip socket. And again on the other side. It doesn't have to be super crazy. You don't have to get every little bit of range of motion. We're just doing a little bit to remind our legs that that's how they're supposed to work. And with that, we're going to do the final round of joint checks. Realistically, you probably don't need it because we just shook our legs out so aggressively, but we're going to do it anyway because it's good to make sure that you're feeling okay before you go do other things. Hip circles. And, ooh, my low back actually really relaxed after doing the hip circles. High knees. Gonna pop into that mini squat, put some pressure in the knees, pressure in the ankles, pressure into the toes and feet, and do a calf raise. Come on up into standing. If you're able to do that without feeling any new discomfort, at least, right, felt normal for you, then we are probably done. We are probably good. All right, come on back. And by come on back, I mean I'm really talking to myself. I'm coming back to the camera, checking out the chat, and we are wrapping up. Whew, man, I'm super sweaty today. Oh, all right, there are still 14 of you online on TikTok. If you have no idea what we're doing, somehow, we just wrapped up 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching, and we do this every day to practice consistency, to build community, and to make the suffering parts of stretching every day a little bit more fun, a little bit more bearable. I try to bring my good vibes. I hope you bring good vibes into the chat. Share your enthusiasm for stretching and for each other, and hopefully we can make it a lot easier to work on our side splits and practice consistency. Whew. I am super sweaty. Galleta says, success! Probably not in that way, but I read it that way, so success! Travel with Roxy says, feels so good. And Exuberant Phoenix sent, you're awesome. Thank you. Okay, I feel like there's some questions that I said I would address at the end, and I can't remember. Okay, boom. Cristala asked about the butterfly. If you want to take it to the next level, I guess you can do something like this where you elevate your butt. Because when we are opening up the stretch, right, the knees get stuck on the ground, right? If you elevate your butt a little bit, you open up more space for your knees to go further down. And you can focus on that if that is what you'd like. Whew. If you don't have a skill that you're trying to get, that you need more hip flexibility for, you're probably already like in the top 1% of the world. So you don't have to go that far. But if it makes you feel like a badass, which it would make you seem like a badass to me, you can elevate your butt, and then it will open up a little bit more space for you to work on opening up your groin and bring your knees down to the ground. I hope that helps. The other question we had was about sharp pain in the middle of the glute while doing the pigeon stretch. And I am going to kind of massage my butt as I figure out what muscles are getting stretched when we do the pigeon. And I'm just wondering if maybe somebody has a really tight mid-butt muscle. Nobody on YouTube. This is the actual username. I'm not just calling out nobody. Oh, no, Bodu. Sorry, excuse me. When I do pigeon a lot of times, I feel it in the middle of the glutes as a sharp pain, almost in my joints. Ooh, okay, more information. That's helpful. Almost in my joints. I feel like there's two things you can do. I think it's pretty normal to feel discomfort in the pigeon if you don't do it very often. And this is putting a lot of pressure at the joint because you're rotating and you're folding. So I think it's probably decently normal. And one way you can build up into it is just decrease the range of motion that you're working on in your pigeon for a little bit as you get your body to adjust. I can't think of a particularly strong reason other than maybe you have one or two really tight muscles in your glutes, in your hips that are really working hard while all the other ones are just chilling and relaxing. If that causes you a lot of pain, obviously, then I have no idea what I'm talking about, and you can ignore me. But I think if you just tone down the intensity a little bit and don't go as hard, you should be able to moderate the intensity of that pain. And I think over time, you should be able to keep on doing the pigeon. Okay. Oh, that is my best bet at what I think you're struggling with. Nobodu says, I love the side splits. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Eduardo, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay. Scrolling back down into the chat. A breathless success, but worth it. Awesome. Lovely. Kristalla says, all right, no skill needed, just trying to relieve tension. Are you still having tension, even though you're able to open up your butterfly this deep? Hold on. I'm thinking about what this implies. Groin area is what we're really stretching out in the butterfly. And if you can oversplit, over butterfly, I guess, then you have a ton of flexibility in the groin. Are you doing a sport that you're feeling like needs a little bit more groin flexibility? Because I'm just trying to process where this tension is coming from. Because I feel like it might not be coming from your groin, because you have incredible flexibility there. Okay, I'm gonna come back all the way to the chat. And extreme flexibility can be painful. Other of your exercises did exactly what I needed: strength with flexibility. Yeah. That's a really good point. For everybody who's still on, if you have been a dancer since birth or gymnast since you were like a 4-year-old, and maybe you have a little bit of insane flexibility, the most important thing that you should be doing is actually strengthening. You don't need to stretch anymore. You already have that insane flexibility. The most important thing is to get strong in that range so that you can control the flexibility. Control, at the end of the day, is the most important. For us, us mere mortals who have to build the flexibility, if you build the flexibility with strength at the same time, it helps your brain realize, cool, we can control this. This is cool. We can get flexible at the same time. For the folks who are super ultra flexible from the get-go and have not lived a life without flexibility, you need to work on strength, because when you're too flexible, your joints start taking on a lot of pressure that could be handled by your muscles, could be handled better by the soft tissue versus your hard, not so tissue, your bones and your cartilage. And that is definitely something that super flexible people need to train. And that's not the majority of people on the internet. So sometimes as newbies coming in, you'll be like, what? Why are you doing that? People have lots of different situations, and I definitely don't address the strength with flexibility for already flexible people all that often, because that's not me. But I appreciate you coming in and reminding me that flexible people need to work on strength. Kristalla says, very true. I've dislocated hips because of lack of strength. Oh, okay. So in that case, when you're doing the butterfly, I feel like perhaps you should be doing something a little bit different. Perhaps, I'll be right back. Perhaps what you want to work on is a couple more strengthening opportunities in the butterfly, right? Like maybe you want to work on something that looks more like this. I'm really close to the camera, so. And once again, I'm admitting that I have not the greatest flexibility, so the wall is really helpful. But in the butterfly, if you start working on things that look a little bit like this, there will be much more strengthening going on. I think, now that you have mentioned that you're super flexible, if you have a bunch of tension, it's probably because a handful of muscles are overworking to compensate for the extensive flexibility that you got going on in the groin. So instead of focusing on stretching out in this moment, you probably will benefit more from strengthening in the butterfly, right? Like really working on controlling that full range of motion. And that might mean we can do the isometric version of this, where you're trying to close your legs while you push your arms against it, right? Or, I mean, if you want to do really intense, you can probably work on a really closed version of this, or I don't know if this is even possible. Really open version of this, and work on it isometrically. Or, like I showed a second ago, you can take some half gallon milk jugs and add a little bit of weight to work on this. I imagine you can probably go a little bit harder than whatever this weighs. But if you don't have weights and you want to get started, milk jugs are more or less almost free if you drink milk. Cool. Let's see what we got in the chat because I was so far away. Cristela says, thank you. That is very helpful. Lovely. Amazing. Okay. I think with that, we are all wrapped up with most of the messages in the chat. I'm going to check YouTube real quick as well. And I think we are good because I cannot figure out what Eduardo is saying. But he says elastico, which I'm pretty sure means flexible. And I think SA means he. So I'm flexible. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Okay. Cat says, I need to try this. Are you saying you need to try this from the beginning because we're doing the lives, or are you saying I need to try this because we have, what is it that we're doing? Strengthening in the butterfly with milk jugs. I don't know why I picked up the milk jugs to be like, oh, this is what we're trying. Foxy Roxy on YouTube says, thank you for today. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, training with us. And I hope you feel more flexible. I hope you feel all warmed up and relaxed. And I hope you had fun. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Cat says, I only joined the live and saw the butterfly. Ooh, okay. So we're in the Q&A, just chit-chatting portion of the live. But usually we do 45 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, which is how we have enough people to have a chat. And the goal is to make it easier to practice consistency, right? So we're suffering on the floor pretty much every single day, and hopefully my good vibes bringing it out to the internet, and your good vibes engaging in the chat, giving me stuff to talk about, keeping us distracted from the suffering on the floor will help us to all practice and do a little bit more of side split stretching. I don't know why I keep on picking up the milk jug. The milk jug is irrelevant. It doesn't usually show up. And yeah, hopefully that consistency, that work helps us to make a bunch of progress into our side splits. And if you care mostly about hip mobility, then that comes as part of the deal. Because you don't magically drop into side splits, you build up hip mobility slowly over time. I don't know why I'm doing dinosaur arms to demonstrate mobility over time. All right. Travel Dorexy has answered your question. What time does it start every day? We go at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Exactly. Chris Private for real says, did I join too late? Question mark. That I didn't read that properly at all. Did I join too late? You might have missed the live by like 12 minutes. We started an hour and 12 minutes ago, so you can come back tomorrow. We're on at the same time every single day because I'm here to help you practice consistency. Mostly, I'm also here to help me practice consistency. So we're here every day at the same time. Yeah, you can come back tomorrow, and we will be good to go. Hope to see you tomorrow. Cat says, I'm going to come back. Thank you. Lovely. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And if I don't see your name, nothing's gonna happen. But if I don't see your name pop up because I'm back there doing stretches on the floor, put a comment in the chat. Remind me that you came in, and I'll be like, oh my God, you're back. Something positive and encouraging, hopefully. Okay. I think with that, somehow the number of people in the audience continues to grow, even though I'm just chatting and not doing any stretching. If you are just joining in, is because Cat and Chris Private for real have been talking in the chat, sending good vibes, and the algorithm is knowing that people love this. So we do live side split stretching every single day, and we do it at 9 p.m. Eastern. We do it every day to practice consistency because that is the most important quality. We do it every day to practice consistency and also build a little bit of community because we keep on coming back to practice together, and that turns into community, right? That's how that works. Hopefully, when we suffer on the floor together, cracking jokes, sharing good energy, it'll make it a little bit easier, a little bit less suffering full, and let us make a whole bunch more progress towards our side splits because we are doing them consistently. I hope that is a good reason for you to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back because we are doing this every single day, and you should be here. With that, I think it is time to wrap up. Chris says, I'll see you then. Kristalla says, thank you for your time and attention tonight. Of course. If you're here, you're part of the community. And if you're part of the community, I'm going to do my best to take care of you. Same username on YouTube. Yes, exactly. My username is at splits on the side. At as in the little symbol, like at Gmail. Splits on the side, because we do side splits. Yeah, I have the same username on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And on YouTube, we save more of the videos. So if for some reason you want to go watch an old live and watch me fumble over my words at a different occasion in time, you can do that. But the lives are more fun because you can participate. Cool? All right. I think with that, Classy says, hey, Ken. Hello. Welcome. We just wrapped up our live, so if you have a question, you can throw it in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer, or send you to the right person who will give you a better answer. And otherwise, we just wrapped up 75-ish minutes of hanging out. 45 of those, 60-ish minutes of those were stretching live, and we do this every day, so you can keep coming back. Cool. All right. I think between TikTok and YouTube, we have wrapped up everything. So I'm officially, finally going to hit goodbye. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend and sleep well. I will see you tomorrow. Same here on YouTube, Eduardo. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you tomorrow.